Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines we have for you here. What's waiting for XRP? And is XRP Wall Street's dark horse? And how about this U.S. government shutdown? And how's it going to affect the markets? We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. I promise you, I'm going to fix the sound. I appreciate everyone's patience. I know the audio is off. I had a microphone go bad on me. It happens. And, oh, yes, I could order one, ordering one today. But I've also had a lot of travel happening too. And when that happens in my life, it always is a compromise to sound and the audio. So my apologies to everyone, and I promise you we are going to get something done here in the next day or so. It all is laying in Amazon's hands and how fast they can get it here. So I appreciate your patience. 4.21. Look at this. As far as I know, this might be the all-time high. I don't know, but looks like it for crypto as a market cap. $4.21 trillion. We're up 2.7 here. If it's not, it's damn close. 119,600 plus for Bitcoin, 4,400 plus for Ethereum. XRP rightfully back at the number 3 spot. And watch out, Ethereum. That number 2 spot's coming, buddy. And we had it once before back in 2018. We're at 305 right now. We're up 3.7 on the 24 and up 9% on the 7-day. Look at the range of price here, ranging between 292 and 304. We will keep an eye on it. I want to tell you guys about iTrustCapital because, listen, they have the best, not good, the best IRA, physical gold, silver, IRAs, crypto IRAs on the planet, bar none. Cannot be overstated. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I've been taking advantage of it for 5 or 6 years. I think it's going on 6 years now. Been in the space for at least 8. So here we are. And now they have the premium custody account, which you could take advantage of and get institutional grade custody without being in the IRA, but at the same time, making sure your long-term holdings are not going to be at risk. This is what we really have to have as a number one priority, is that our assets are safe. Well, that's exactly what they've done here with the premium custody account. You can click the link underneath the video and get started to learn more, but let me just tell you, it's a closed loop system, so you can only cash out to your U.S. checking account in cash. You cannot take crypto off of that account once you go in. It has to come out as cash. And now the reason they do that is to really help protect long-term holders in this digital asset space and to help by removing the attack vector. So a bad actor, should they get in from your side of the fence, the only thing they'll be able to do is cash you out to your U.S. checking account. So make sure you click the link underneath the video and start getting the peace of mind that you deserve. iTrustCapital.com/XRPArmy. Get started today, and don't forget about that executive order for $12.5 trillion worth of 401ks that you could be rolling your portion of that right over in that crypto IRA. Don't mess around. Check it out. Click the link. See if it's right for you. Here we see the U.S. government officially shut down at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time today after Congress failed to pass a funding bill impacting millions of federal employees in critical services. Well, this isn't the first time this has happened. In fact, let's take a look at Paul Barron and what he breaks out here for us.
U.S. government shutdown may signal a crypto market bottom. Here's the shutdowns since 1976. The big one was back in 2018 under Trump, 35 days. That was the biggest one. Here's the facts the media is not covering. The average length of a shutdown is around 8 days. The S&P 500 has ended higher 1 year after a shutdown, 86% of the cases. The S&P 500 also posted an average gain of 13% 1 year after the shutdown ends. So it seems and appears that the markets don't necessarily care about this.
And that's interesting to me, right? Because he may be right about that. But at the same time, we also know that there's been a huge group of people that said there was going to be like 10 days of darkness and all this stuff. I have no idea what's going to happen. What I do know is that it is first day of darkness right now, right? So how long does this go on? And what does it look like when we come back on? Because there's some stuff we have to talk about. Remember, it was September 30th when the U.S. Treasury was instructed by the executive order from President Trump to modernize payments to and from America's bank account. That's the U.S. Treasury, ladies and gentlemen. So the modernization was supposed to start on September 30th. The interesting thing is that now I'm curious, is there a connection? I don't know the answer. Is there a connection between this shutdown and the revamping and modernization of the U.S. government payment system? And in the process, do they eliminate a lot of jobs like they've talked about already leading up to the election itself? So now let's take a look at this. Cambridge analyst explains why Wall Street sees XRP as the next Bitcoin. Well, here it is. The case for XRP is Wall Street's dark horse. Amid these factors, analyst Bradley Peak argues that XRP is shaping up to be Wall Street's dark horse, as he suggested the digital asset could surprise skeptics just as Bitcoin and Ethereum once did. He cited Nate Garassi of the ETF store as echoing this view. For context, Garassi noted in September that early doubters about Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs quickly vanished once billions of dollars poured in. For XRP, the momentum is already strengthening this case. And this is interesting because we'll get to that in a second. But CoinGlass data shows CME XRP futures have topped 1.25 billion in open interest, where CME first reported in August that its XRP futures reached the 1 billion mark faster than any other crypto derivative contract. Now market watchers like Peak see the momentum spilling into spot ETFs. Canary Capital has already projected $5 billion in demand in the early weeks, while JP Morgan estimates $8 billion annually. Meanwhile, not all issuers are sticking to the planned price tracking ETFs. Asset manager Amplify has filed for a fund that mixes XRP with income generating strategies like covered calls. Other firms are testing leveraged and derivative-based products. This shows that the asset managers see a chance to attract more advanced investors with customized XRP offerings. Now, also remember, while we're talking about this potential dark horse for Wall Street, that we just saw the applications for the ETF withdrawn for all ETFs because the SEC is signaling they're going to greenlight them pretty much at the same time, eliminating the 240-day wait period and the 19B-4 filing. So this is super exciting. And I want you to just think about this for a second. I'm not saying this will happen, but just envision this for a second. Imagine all the ETFs getting approved at once. Well, now we know why BlackRock hasn't filed one, because they probably were aware that this whole thing would be eliminated and streamlined and greenlit. So that puts them in a line that's no longer a line. It's just a starting point. So they could file whenever they want and go bang, just like that, and be in the space. Another thing that I look at is imagine all these ETFs going live and then the immediate demand being as strong or stronger than everyone's talking about already. And that demand gobbling up the loose liquidity out here on the market for these ETFs put into qualified custodians. And then imagine getting the Clarity Act, which is the market infrastructure bill, passed. And from that point, you're going to see institutions that will need to use it because of its utility every day come off the sidelines. And then it will be a fight between the ETFs to buy it up, put it in a qualified custodian versus the market makers and financial institutions that will need to use it for payments, clearing, and settlement every single day going forward. Now, you tell me, is that a scenario you'd be looking towards? I can tell you right now, I'm looking towards it. I hope it unfolds just like that. Now, we all remember the old picture when Caroline Pham, CFTC commissioner, she was a commissioner at that time. Now she's the interim head currently. So this is when she visited Ripple, just to show the history there. And then we saw the CME group, to launch 24/7 crypto futures options trading in 2026. In another 3 months, this is going to take off with the CME group. Take a look at it. There it is. CME group to roll out 24/7 crypto trading in Q1 of 2026. I'm telling you, things are changing so fast. but everyone's complaining because the government shut down. Well, just you wait, because we may not recognize what it looks like when it turns back on. That's the point. And here, Commissioner Pham, the interim head at the CFTC, Caroline Pham, check out my quotes on page 29, 32, and 46 of the City Stablecoins report. Oh, this is so good. Now, I mixed these up because of the way they were laid out. So I'll show you this one first. You cannot have innovation without having a safety first approach. It's not a trade-off. It goes together. Great statement. We know it. Got to have it. Then she says this is all Caroline Pham, the acting chairman of the CFTC. Collateral management is the killer app for stablecoins. Let me just say it one more time. Collateral management is the killer app for stablecoins, enabling real-time programmable settlement across asset classes by unlocking capital efficiencies and freeing up balance sheets. Oh, well, that made me think of something. Freeing up balance sheet. It can drive powerful ripple effects, she says. Oh, Caroline, are you trolling us? Caroline, Commissioner Pham, I should say. It's no disrespect to you. Commissioner Pham, is it ripple? A powerful ripple effect. More credit to businesses, greater liquidity in markets, and more resilient financial system. Well, I certainly agree with that. And the final comment she has here, the larger question is, what lies ahead when it comes to big tech and financial services, and how the landscape might evolve if commercial enterprises or corporates begin to enter the financial sector? Well, I could tell you when she talked about this idea of greater liquidity in markets, a powerful ripple effect, unlocking capital efficiencies and freeing up balance sheet, guess what it made me think of? Take a listen.
For Ripple, we use this digital asset called XRP to settle liquidity needs between banks. So today there's $27 trillion parked at different banks around the world so they can make payments between each other. Our view is you can use a digital asset like XRP to do that in real time. Because XRP has been so efficient, it settles a transaction about 3 seconds compared to Bitcoin.
So it just passes through that currency for that period of time.
That's correct. Point, and I think one of the things we all have to remember is that the value of a token over the long term is really going to be derived by its utility. What problem is it solving? How big is that problem? How many customers do you have? There's no question there's a lot of hype in this system, and I don't actually think that's a good thing. For Ripple, we use this digital asset called XRP to settle liquidity needs between banks. So today there's $27 trillion parked at different banks around the world so they can make payments between each other. Our view is you can use a digital asset like XRP to do that in real time. Because XRP has been so efficient, it settles a transaction about 3 seconds compared to Bitcoin.
So it just passes through that currency for that period of time.
That's correct. Point, and I think one of the things we all have to remember is that.
And there you go. That sounds exactly like the way Brad Garlinghouse was talking just a very short time ago. This is probably a couple years ago, but nonetheless, it is absolutely relevant to hear the interim head of the CFTC echoing these same talking points that I believe are about to be unlocked with the passage and the signing into law of the Clarity Act. That's what I believe. And here we see, obviously, with that recent crypto sprint at the CFTC, we know that Brad Garlinghouse was there with other crypto top industry leaders. And that gets me excited because we are in this realm of the US government shutdown. And we know we're supposed to get this Clarity Act. And when you talk about unlocking these capital efficiencies and freeing up the balance sheet and how stable coins got to be monitored safely so we can see how big tech and financial services end up hitting this landscape with commercial enterprises and corporates begin to use it. That's what we're talking about. Unlocking 27 trillion, visiting the crypto sprint. And now we know that Ripple partnership with Thunes does integrate Swift's network of 11,000 banks. Oh yeah, they firewall us from the real customer, but that's okay. As long as we get the utility on the protocol, the value is in the protocol, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the liquidity onto the network, and that's all that really matters for me. That's where I'm at. Look, it's not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.